Okay, and a warm good afternoon once again, everyone. എല്ലാവരോടും ദയവ് ചെയ്ത് ഇരിക്കണമെന്ന് ഏറെ സ്നേഹത്തോടു കൂടി തന്നെ ആവശ്യപ്പെട്ടുകൊള്ളട്ടെ. സോ നമ്മുടെ മോർണിംഗിലുള്ള ഒരു സെഷൻ എല്ലാവരും വളരെയധികം എൻജോയ്ഡ് ആയിട്ട് തന്നെ ശ്രദ്ധിച്ചിരുന്ന കേട്ട ഒരു സെഷനാണ്. അത്തരത്തിൽ ഒരു മറ്റൊരു സെഷന്റെ ആരംഭം നമ്മൾ ഇത് ഇവിടെ കുറിക്കുകയാണ്. സോ നമുക്കറിയാം ഇന്നത്തെ നമ്മളുടെ ഈ ഒരു സമ്മിറ്റ് ഓഫ് ഫ്യൂച്ചറിന്റെ ട്രാക്ക് 6 എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഹരിതഭാവി പ്രമേയമാക്കിക്കൊണ്ടുള്ള ഒരു ദിവസമാണ്. ആ ദിനത്തിൽ തന്നെ നമ്മളെ ഇനിയുള്ള ഒരു ഭാവി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി നമ്മളുടെ ജെൻസി, ജെൻ ആൽഫ അവരുടെ എല്ലാവരുടെയും കയ്യിലാണ്. സോ എങ്ങനെ ജെൻസിയുടെ സഹായത്തോടെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ജെൻസിയുടെ സഹകരണത്തോടു കൂടി മികച്ച രീതിയിൽ ഒരു ഓർഗാനിക് ഫാം സ്റ്റാർട്ടപ്പ് നമുക്ക് ആരംഭിക്കാം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അത് ഇത്തരത്തിൽ ലോഞ്ച് ചെയ്യാം. ഇതെല്ലാം നമുക്ക് വളരെ കൗതുകമുണർത്തുന്ന ഒരു വിഷയം തന്നെയാണ്. ഈ വിഷയത്തെ പറ്റി ഏറ്റവും മികച്ച രീതിയിൽ പ്രതിപാദിപ്പിക്കുവാനായി വളരെ പ്രമുഖനായ ഭക്ഷ്യ വ്യക്തിഗത പരിചരണ ഉൽപ്പന്ന മേഖലകളിൽ 30 വർഷത്തിലധികം വിസ്തൃതമായ അനുഭവ സമ്പത്തുള്ള ഒരു റിനൗണ്ട് മാർക്കറ്റിംഗ് എക്സ്പേർട്ട് നമുക്കൊപ്പമുണ്ട്. ശ്രീ സുനിൽ കുമാർ സുരേന്ദ്രൻ അവർകളാണ്. ദ ഔം കൺസൾട്ടിംഗ് പ്രൈവറ്റ് ലിമിറ്റഡിന്റെ മാനേജിംഗ് ഡയറക്ടറാണ് അദ്ദേഹം. ഡയറി, ബേക്കറി, സ്നാക്ക് ഫുഡ്, ഓർഗാനിക് ഫുഡ്, പെറ്റ്സ് ഫുഡ്, ഫുഡ് റീറ്റെയിൽ, കാർഷിക വ്യവസായം, ഹെർബൽ പേഴ്സണൽ കെയർ എന്നീ മേഖലകളിൽ അദ്ദേഹം വിസ്തൃതമായ വ്യാപാരവുമായും മാർക്കറ്റിംഗുമായും മൂല്യശൃംഖല മെച്ചപ്പെടുത്തലുകളുമായും പ്രവർത്തിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. 2008 ശ്രീ സുനിൽ ഓം കൺസൾട്ടിംഗ് പ്രൈവറ്റ് ലിമിറ്റഡ് എന്ന ഒരു ബൂട്ടിക് മാനേജ്മെന്റ് കൺസൾട്ടിംഗ് കമ്പനി സ്ഥാപിച്ചു. ഇന്ന് അദ്ദേഹം കോർപ്പറേറ്റ് പരിശീലന പരിപാടികളും നടത്തുന്നുണ്ട്. പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് സെയിൽസ് ആൻഡ് മാർക്കറ്റിംഗുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട മേഖലകളിൽ 2014 മുതൽ ഇന്റർനാഷണൽ കോമ്പറ്റൻസ് സെന്റർ ഓഫ് ഓർഗാനിക് അഗ്രികൾച്ചറിന്റെ ബോർഡ് ഡയറക്ടറും നിലവിൽ പ്രസിഡന്റ് സ്ഥാനവും നിർവഹിക്കുന്ന ഒരു വ്യക്തി കൂടിയാണ്. ഏറെ സ്നേഹത്തോടെ ഏറെ ബഹുമാനത്തോടു കൂടി നമുക്ക് ഈ വേദിയിൽ ഈ ഒരു സെഷൻ ആരംഭിക്കുന്നതിനായി ശ്രീ സുനിൽ കുമാർ സുരേന്ദ്രൻ സാറിനെ ക്ഷണിച്ചുകൊള്ളുന്നു. പ്ലീസ് സർ.
A very good afternoon to one and all. I will be very happy to probably take the last 15 minutes of the session. The first 30 minutes of the session would probably take you through the opportunity, and the last 15 minutes I would like to engage with you on all your doubts, clarifications, concerns, ambitions, aspirations, and what all and what not. Well, I would like to start the session with a wonderful word called abundance. While I was having my lunch in the room, I saw, are you ready for the future? That's the whole program about, right? Are you ready for the future? I don't believe in future. I believe in the present. I don't believe in the future. Because future is going to be a garland of lot of beads of today's getting strung. So prepare yourself to live today in the best possible way, which will give you a great future. But for that, it's extremely important to know the small word called abundance. What's abundance? Abundance is actually not the absence of scarcity. It's not the absence of scarcity. Whereas it is the presence of an abundant mentality. If you have to live happy today, you need to be having belief in the abundance of the nature. Right or wrong? We are all going to talk about a startup, an organic farm startup. But for that, most of us, when we think about startup, you think about scarce resources. And that's what economics taught us. Isn't it? Utilization of scarce resources. And I am saying that do not operate from this phenomena called scarcity of resources. There is no scarcity of resources for a person who genuinely wants it. So, nature is full of abundance. Am I right or wrong? She has never kept us waiting for anything. When she gives it in a bounty. You go to harvest a field of paddy. What happens? You harvest in tons. And how much do you want? Maybe 100 grams a day? But the nature gives you in plenty. And why is it so? And isn't that your problem? And I believe that's the problem. The nature could have given you 100 grams of rice every day to your home. But it doesn't happen. But well, that's the opportunity. Now, the next word which everyone battles when you talk about a startup is this word called luck. And what's luck? Luck is nothing but preparation meeting opportunity. Don't wake up in the morning and pray to God that may I be lucky. Instead, you prepare and be ready waiting. The moment of opportunity comes and then the marriage happens. An ardent Bharatanatyam artist keeps preparing for years together, and when will her performance happen? When the preparation meets the stage. When the preparation meets the stage, it's performance. So let's talk about the opportunity. Now, the opportunity available for all of us, when you're talking about farm, may not come into organic farm. First come to farm. While all the technology advancements are happening, let's also don't forget that if you don't eat, you are not alive to enjoy the benefits of technology. Am I right or wrong? Yes, so you got to be alive. And if you have to be alive, you need something called food. Maybe it comes in different forms and shapes. That's also an opportunity, but you need food. So therefore, what is that opportunity? The great farmer, I refuse to call him a poor farmer. The great farmer or the proud farmer, for him, the concerns are about soil fertility, his own health, and the money he makes. Now, let's look at the next person, the consumer. What does the consumer want? The consumer wants safe food, nutrition and health, and at the same time, some of us also want sustainability. Today, sustainability is a buzzword, but how many of you are living by that particular value? Sustainability is not an outcome. It's a value which you practice day in, day out. So that consumer who is living by the value of sustainability, for him, this becomes extremely critical. Now let's look at the Mother Earth. What does she want? Soil health, the environment. If the soil is not good enough to be cultivated year on, again and again and again, the environment dies. Biodiversity. Isn't it true? Had this room been filled up only with students from one small village called Turavur, how would that room look like? Monocropping. You're all from different parts of the state or from the country. It makes it so diverse. So the environment is built to be having biodiversity, and without which sustainability becomes a problem yet again, You get into monocropping. I cultivate arecanut and arecanut and arecanut. Or I cultivate coconut and coconut and coconut. And then you say that my productivity is down. You have killed it. Air quality. Delhi burning. Stubble burning in Punjab and Haryana, leading to smog in Delhi. Flights not landing. People are not able to breathe. Putting up oxygen cylinders at home. Why? Poor air quality. You don't consider this because you are probably living in some pristine place where industries do not thrive. And therefore your air quality is far better. Water quality. That we understand because we keep buying, right? Or you keep installing RO units in your home. The RO water is not as good as the water which we earlier had from the normal wells, isn't it? Nice water which you drank from the wells. No. Carbon footprint. Big ticket game. Okay. I would talk less on carbon footprint because you got to read about carbon footprint and the green gas emissions which are leading to climate change and so on and so forth, which is getting marketed very well by the Western world, and it's hitting you as well. Now look at what the government of India is looking at. It's also important how the government looks at it, right? The government is looking at it from the food safety and security side. I use this word too, food safety and food security. Initially, when Green Revolution came in 1950s, we talked about food security. That's food for all. And we talked about monocropping. We talked about fertilizer. We talked about pesticides and chemicals. And we got the productivity up so that we can feed the world. So food security taken care of. Now, what's your biggest concern sitting here? Let me not do a monologue. What is your biggest concern when you talk about food? Is my food safe? Why are you worried? Because you read about Varithan Pala, Varithan vegetables. As if we are not committing that crime. If it crosses the border of Valayar, we say that that's bad. And we hear stories that, in a single field of a farmer, he cultivates a separate plot for himself and the rest for the Kerala market. We are afraid. Right? So that's why this word food safety and security is used together. Now look at the balance of trade. How is balance of trade getting affected? When you import lots of urea and potash from different parts of the world, you give foreign exchange and therefore a trade deficit. If you have been able to cultivate your farms by the inputs made locally, you still would improve on your balance of trade. Reduction of subsidy. Yes. You talk about agriculture, the conventional agriculture, we depend a lot on subsidy from the government. Isn't it? Right, wrong? Yes or no? Are you aware that government is spending a huge amount of money on the subsidies to promote the farmers to cultivate in the conventional way using chemical fertilizers, pesticides and insecticides. And that's what you're afraid of today. Now you look at the next one. Contradictory in nature. Health and welfare. Isn't the government worried about the health and welfare of the citizens? Yes. So on the one hand, you keep funding for growing food using the chemical pesticides, fertilizers, and then run up a huge bill on the medical infrastructure of the country. Is it contradictory? Think. Now I'm asking you, if this is the scenario of opportunity, which is called Health for All, recently we wrote a paper, not a paper, a business plan for the National Cooperative Organics Limited for the Government of India. And the government says that while the vision is health for all, the mission is Sahakar se Samriddhi. That's what Amit Shah goes around talking in the podium now. It runs into 300 pages of business plan. And it starts from here. This is something which I love the most because as a consultant, you introduce me as somebody who has got 3 decades of experience. It's useless. Trust me, it's useless. You know why? Because these learnings are basis a scenario which existed earlier. So those are not going to do well. Like at home, yesterday, I counted the number of brown bags which got delivered because yesterday I was at home. And it was 7. 7 bags got delivered from Septo and Instamart. And I'm staying in a place called Trikakara, and just across the road, I've got all the stores selling products. And today morning, 2 brushes and a toothpaste came. Why? Because you know that it is possible. So when the change happened, what are the changes which happened? When you look forward, right? Forward looks very nice. But you just turn and look for the previous 5 years. Don't look at 20, 30 years. Just look at 5 years. Because earlier, the change used to happen once in 10 years or once in 15 years. Now it's happening the next month or the next day. I don't know how many of you remember this advertisement for MTS. MTS was once upon a time a telecom company. Do you know that? Have you heard about this technology called CDMA? Code Division Multiple Access? Or you only know about the new one, the GSM? CDMA? This is Gen Z for me. Okay? And this advertisement, I'll narrate the advertisement. The ladies in the operation labor room, and not a labor room, it's an operation theater, and the lady is delivering a baby. And the baby is actually taking the scissor from the tray of the doctor and cutting the umbilical cord, and then just getting down and then moving. And the tagline says, born for the internet. And this advertisement came probably around 16 years or 17 years back. What are we talking about? Today it looks so ordinary for you. At that point of time, many people did not understand the meaning of that advertisement. Born for the net. 15 years back, I also teach at B schools. 15 years back, I was teaching a case study called TiVo. And since you are all students, I would say that those are called video recorders. And in that particular case study, people say that TV is dead. And that case study was written 30 years back. And I'm teaching TV is dead 15 years back. Students laughed at me. And today what's happening? How many of you watch TV at home? No? On the device? Yes. And you pick and choose what you want. You don't see the crap which is getting broadcasted. You pick and choose what you want. That's the change. So this change has given the technology. The technology has changed massive. The digital payment gateways. You know one thing? If you want to be known as world's first, India has the best digital payment system in the world. And that's your advantage. People came from Australia for a small meeting, and then when we were paying left, right, center from our phone, they were quite surprised. What are you doing? They're giving payment for a chai, GPay, Coupe, whatever pay. And imagine the opportunities which are exploding right in front of you. Then you have got your delivery platforms. Earlier, if you thought about a business, all these would have become challenges to you. I wanted to hire a cook for my home yesterday. And yesterday we were sitting in a lunchroom and discussing. And then the next gentleman whom I was sitting, he runs a canteen for his company and great food. He said, why do you want to cook? I said, if you give me all the food you make, I would not put a cook. So he volunteered saying that, all the curries for the lunch and dinner I would send from here. Immediately got in and searched for Swiggy Genie. Swiggy Genie charges me $200. So $200, it comes exactly at the same time. I don't need to even remind. The third one, which means the delivery platforms are changing the game. Marketing, I am not talking, less said the better, because you are all victims of digital marketing or proponents of digital marketing. The next thing is supply chain. The improvements in the supply chain which has come 3 years back when my son was in Bangalore and he wanted a furniture. He said, Acha, don't worry, I'll porter it. And I didn't know what portering means. I only knew about the railway porter who came in a red shirt. Porter it. And it happened 3 years back. And he got his dining table delivered. The next one is the revenge touring. 4 years we were kept, or 3 years we were kept in the homes because of something called COVID. And then we are all on a splurge mode, revenge. We don't know whether tomorrow exists or tomorrow dies. So you're going to fly all around the place. And think fly money, tourism, leisure. And you need safer food and better health. That we are clear. This is the great government talking about it. Amit Shah launching the National Cooperative Organics along with Minesh Shah, who is the chairman of National Dairy Development Board. That's the Minister of Agriculture. He is the Minister of Cooperation along with the portfolio of Home. And the government is shouting at the top of their voice, grow natural, grow organic, go with biodiversity, go agroecological solutions, go global gap. Why? Because the government is now worried. Because the medical bill which I'm going to run for the farmers' welfare, for the people's welfare is going to be difficult. Now, this is critical and important, This is a study. The study done by Price, which talks about how the incomes of Indians are going to change. Now, this should bring smiles on your faces because you're going to get more money. And when you get more money, what will you do? Look at the diamond on the top there, the blue band there. This band, 53% having annual income of 1.25 to 5 lakhs. And this is 2023. What's happening 2035? That blue band is reducing. And you're getting a diamond-shaped India, which is shrinking to 28%. And this teal color band, which is 25% with an income of 5 to 15 lakhs per annum, is moving to 42%. What does this mean? What does it mean to you? I mean, I believe that you're all sitting here to understand about startups and startup in the agri space and startup in the sustainable agri space and in the therefore the organic space, right? So what does it tell you? If I'm going to build by business, right? The middle class bulge 25 to 42% and the rich with more than 30 lakhs per annum growing from 3.5% to 12.4%. So if I look at only this three, 12.5%, which was 2%, 3.5%. This much of people are going to have more disposable income with them. Do you have answers for their questions? Do you have solutions for their problems? Do you have products to serve their needs? If so, yes, you have a right to succeed. And this right to succeed, read it with abundance and read it with luck. What is luck? When preparation meets opportunity. You wake up in the morning and say, I want to serve them. It doesn't happen. That's why I said you need lot of good todays, not good tomorrows. This has stopped working. Yeah. This just to give you a size of the market. Okay, this is only for the academic interest. Don't read too much into it. The Indian organic market size is 2,682 crores in 2022. And as I'm speaking, 2024 is around 3,000 crores of domestic market and around 7,000 crores of export market, which is a good 10,000 crores. But when I'm speaking, the plan which we wrote is 1 lakh crores by 2035. 10,000 crore to 1 lakh crores by 2035. And if only the shift is from less than 0.5% of the population to 0.85% of India's growing population, if they take to organic agriculture from conventional agriculture as consumers, you're going to have 1 lakh crores worth opportunity. I don't see happy faces. You at least be happy with the opportunity, you know. You don't want to do anything about it, fine. But still you be happy. But if I'm saying that tomorrow Honda is going to launch their hybrid SUV at 25 crores, most of your eyes would light up. In the recently concluded auto show, Honda spoke about that. And BMW talks about hydrogen. All your eyes sparkle, you know. But this one, safe food, yeah, good. Keep going. Now, the growth levers. I think the format has changed on that computer. It's fine. What are the growth levers and what are the problems which the consumer is facing? The consumer is genuinely wanting to go to the organic agriculture side. But what are his concerns? His concerns are accessibility. I can't reach the produce. Maybe the produce is grown in Northeast and I can't access that. Available. It's not available at near my doorstep. Or it's not available at my neighborhood vegetable store or neighborhood grocery store. The next one is affordability. The moment you talk about organic, people think that it's exorbitantly priced. Like if a tomato comes to 20 rupees, an organic tomato will be 100 rupees. I don't know. I mean, till the time you check out. If you go to, I mean, last week we were on a panel where the founder of Big Basket was on my panel. His name is Sheshu. So Sheshu was telling me that, look, Sunil, I have got my prices on the phone. He requested entire gang on the audience to check the prices. He says that my organic pricing and BB Royal pricing, Tur dal prices were same. Atta prices were same between organic and conventional. So many a time we live in a world where we keep believing or the perception that this is going to be 200% higher. It was, but that's changing. Authenticity. Why am I paying more money? Because I'm not very sure whether it's genuinely organic. Somebody would have, managed something and then it's not good. So that's about the authenticity part. Now, I'm talking about boxing the opportunity. When I say boxing the opportunity, it's not boxing the opportunity, just putting it into 3 boxes, okay? The first one is the organic farm. Right? That lady is from Bangalore. and she's in the farm called Akshay Kalpa, which is actually an organic dairy company. You will find them on the shelves today. Akshay Kalpa is their farm, and this is their small counter inside that farm. And this is the product. So you have got farm produce called milk, and then you've got a range of value-added products. So when you look at an organic farm startup, no, my friends, let me tell you one thing. If you're just wanting to have a small farm and sell rice or vegetables, take a pause. Because by selling commodities, you really don't make your money. Only if you're able to box it into three different places. That one is the produce, the next is the farm, because a lot of people would want to come to the farm, and then the value added. Then you build a company, and this is a heavily invested company. This company was invested into beginning by a US-based fund called Venture Dairy, and then subsequently by Secure. So it's a funded organization. But when they started, it's a very small place. Now, what are your revenue streams? If you are getting into organic farm, your revenue streams consist of A, produce, just produce. The next stream is the byproduct or the waste. In 1992, when I did my summer internship project, I went to Anand, and then our team made a presentation that dairying in Kerala is a loss. That time, the price per liter of milk was lower than the price of 1 liter mineral water bottle. And in the legislative assembly, there were these strikes saying that, how can 1 liter milk be priced lesser than 1 liter water? Thank you. So you have the cow manure. I'm talking about, you sell cow dung and urine to make your money. And I'm not joking. This we did in 2092. Our earlier batches, there was a person from 1990 batch who stood up and said that when we made this presentation 2 years back, you all laughed. But it's a reality. Waste recycling. Today, most of the home waste are going into greening the medians of the KMRL. Farm tourism, carbon credit. Now let me tell you the story. Like if you're wanting to sell produce and earn money, you are probably bound to fail. The new study says that I'm a Firang, a fair-skinned guy living in a developed country and doing all sorts of crime, polluting the environment. And there are some nice souls doing sustainable agriculture here. You make money out of selling carbon credits to that person. എവിടെയോ പാപം ചെയ്തതിനു ശേഷം ഗംഗയിൽ മുങ്ങിയാൽ പാപം കഴുകിക്കളയാം എന്ന് വിശ്വസിക്കുന്ന ഒരു പരിപാടിയാണ് കാർബൺ ക്രെഡിറ്റ്സ്. ബട്ട് ദാറ്റ്സ് എ opportunity for farmers in India or in other parts of the world to make your money apart from what you do in agriculture. So this is also to be considered as your revenue stream. Well, the challenges are A, soil fertility, B, the pest management, C, the disease management. And these three are going to be addressed only through having relevant package of practices for organic agriculture, without which success is very difficult. The next comes is certification. Certification comes at a cost. And then you have got the challenge of giving product available round the clock. And then you have got, are you getting the right money, the right price? Are you able to monetize it? If you're not able to monetize what you do, then you stop it. And increasing the efficiency in farming. We all saw about one movie. What is it? Manju Warrior's movie? How old are you? Oh, good. At least, now I'm hearing some noise. So, how old are you is basically a small pocket of excellence. Now, these pockets of excellence are available for all of you. Imagine a huge community growing vegetables in the same way and using those digital technologies available. You can connect with the town. Today, a lot of governments are talking about how to connect with the suburbs of the city metros. For example, Delhi is talking about growing vegetables along the banks of Yamuna and then bring it back. So 50 kilometers from the city, you grow and then you bring it. rather than, it traveling 12 hours, 18 hours on a truck. The impact on society. I'll quickly complete and then take your questions. The first one is circular economy. The cash gets rotated within the place. And this is what Gandhiji spoke about in terms of self-sustenance. Like the area of production and the area of consumption have to be close. Today, I'll just give you a small example. നാട്ടില് പാൽ ഉൽപാദനം നടക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. 7 മണിക്ക് ശേഷം നാട്ടില് പാല് കിട്ടുമോ ഇല്ലയോ? Answer is no. Because by between 6 and 7 or 5 and 7, all the milk which is being produced comes to a primary cooperative society and they sell it locally, and the rest of it is collected by the Milma vehicle, goes out and then comes back as packaged milk to all these retail outlets. Look at how much of carbon you have pumped. Anyway, listen. The next one is about the biodiversity. And here is about rural livelihoods. This is the impact on the society if many of you take to sustainable farming solutions. I'm not talking about, exploitative farming solutions, by sustainable farming solutions. And there are two types of standards. One is called sustainability standard and the next is called social standard. And why is it so? Because when you're trying to market something, you want to have a differentiator and people are willing to pay an extra price for that, provided you are able to tell that mine is superior. Now, how am I going to say that mine is superior? Well, I am certified organic, following the 4 principles. Principles of health, principles of ecology, fairness and care. The next one talks about natural farming, Prakriti Kheti. And these are labels which you can look for. The next is global gap, global good agricultural practices. Right? The next one is integrated waste management. The next is regenerative agriculture. All these things are talking about the first slide which I spoke about. Safe food, good for farmer, good for environment, this is what we do. These all become certificates. So when you grow something and you put these labels, your price keeps going up. Your monetization aspect keeps going up. So first one was a table stake called growing good. The next is about how am I going to add sustainability standard to my product, which makes it more premium, marketable. Then you've got social standards, fair trade. Then you've got Rainforest Alliance, again social standards. Because of paucity of time, you may have to go back and read. So I have on my pack, I've gone first certifications. The next I have got the sustainability standards. The next I have got, social standards. So you consider me to be good and you're willing to give me more money. Brand. We are talking only about value addition. And I don't want to talk about marketing because there have been a lot of sessions on marketing. I can only tell you one thing. നല്ല മഴ വരുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് ഉടനെ കുടയുണ്ടോ എന്ന് ചോദിക്കില്ലേ? ഒരു കുടയ്ക്ക് കിട്ടാൻ ഭയങ്കര വാല്യൂ ആണ്. ആ കുട എടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് പോയി, മഴ കഴിഞ്ഞു, പിന്നെ ഈ കുട എന്താണ്? പ്രാരാബ്ധം, ലയബിലിറ്റി. So if you don't add value, you yourself is a liability to the community. So you got to add value and encash that value by putting up a brand. See, Akshay Kalpa is a dairy, but they are talking about farm stay. 24 Mantra is probably India's largest organic food brand. Now, this is what the government is doing. I'm just telling what the government is doing. Government International Trade Fair Organics and Millets 2025. I'm only talking about what happened in January. This month. Biofest 25. BSM, Bioseller Meets Awards Conclave, Bangalore 21 to 22nd January. Biofac 11 to 14 February is going to happen in Germany. And all the government organizations are actually motivating people to be there. That is National Cooperative Organics Limited, which I spoke about, Amit Shah putting it up. And that's Biofest at Bangalore, and on the podium is me. Thank you so much. Questions?
Please feel free to ask any questions and kindly please pass on the mic to the audience, please. Would appreciate if anybody who has to ask a question could raise your hands, please.
If I don't get questions, I'll ask questions to you and give answer. Look, I am also a teacher.
I guess we
Don't
have
worry about
questions,
that.
right?
You want to ask a question? You want to ask a question? If there are no questions, then as I told, I will actually ask questions and answer myself. Feel free. എന്താ സംഭവം എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ നിങ്ങളൊരു വലിയ പ്രസന്റേഷൻ കേട്ടെന്നോ ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു കാറ്റ് വന്ന് അടിച്ചിട്ട് പോയി എന്നൊന്നും വിചാരിക്കണ്ട. തിങ്ക്, റിലാക്സ് ആൻഡ് ആസ്ക് എനി ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. I mean, if it is not restricted to organic agriculture, I don't have a problem. Because I'm a practicing marketeer. So you can ask me questions around that too. Yes.
It show us about that thing which changes from 2025 to 2035, the growth rate and like how much income and everything makes. But I also think that during that time the inflation will be quite high as well. So the money value would be probably less. So what's the use in having a higher income?
Good question. This is what I thought when I was actually a clerk in LIC of India, wherein I was drawing a salary of 1,645 rupees per month. 2 years later, I started drawing 8,500 rupees a month in another company. And then I multiplied my salaries. And what the 1650 could buy and what a few lakhs could buy few years later was very different. At 1650, I was struggling. Let me tell you, I was struggling to keep both ends meet. So, this particular thing, you multiply with the inflation rate. What's the current inflation rate? 5 to 7%? You take your current salary or whatever current earning at your home and multiply by compounded interest for next 10 years and see whether this would actually justify or not. Your buying power is going to grow. Undoubtedly, it's going to grow because the product costs are not going to grow at that pace. Like, look at the price of a mobile phone. Has it shot up or has it come down? The answer is it has come down for the similar model. You are pushed by a marketeer to aspire for an Apple 16, then you are dead. But I can get you a good smartphone at 10,000 bucks. Whereas I bought my first phone, which is an Ericsson, like a brick, which was probably around 10,000-12,000 rupees at that point of time when I did not have money. So it's about the purchase price parity. So don't worry about that. You will have plenty of money.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. It all depends how you use it.
And if I may ask something, sir, on behalf of all of them. Here, sir, at the podium.
Yeah.
No, because like all these days of the summit, we have been hearing a lot about the AI and like how it is going to revolutionize the whole world. So what is your perspectives with regards to the AI and how it could be the consequences of AI with regard to the organic farms? Will it be leveraging it or will it be exploiting the existing situations even further?
See, what the AI is going to do, I will talk specific to agriculture, right?
Please, sir.
Yeah. So, the AI in agriculture is going to be far more productive in increasing the efficiency of farming. Today, I spoke about carbon credit. How will you ever get a carbon credit if I did not know the before and after? I need to know the before and after, right? Today, I was using so much of inputs and then growing. That has to be documented. And the next is I have to have a surveillance which rates me. So somebody sitting in US can actually follow or track my farm in Vailar and then agree to pay me this much money. That's going to come from remote sensing and AI. So don't think that AI is going to destroy you. But as a knife would have it, a knife is actually used to cut a cake. And it's also used to cut a nice carrot. It can also kill a man. It's about how we are going to use the AI. As I started my presentation, I spoke about the scarcity versus abundance. If you wake up every day morning thinking that I don't have money, I don't have love, I don't have food, I don't have this, I don't have that, then you end up cribbing for today and killing yourself for tomorrow. If you wake up with a abundance mindset, you have everything. You are able to build on that. So AI, from my perspective, is going to influence and improve upon the efficiencies in the way we do business. Like when I am typing an email on my phone, it says thanks and regards, comma, because that's how I end my thing. And then it writes Sunil Kumar. I mean, fine, yeah, it saved me another 3 minutes of my time, and it is neatly put in place. So I'm happy with that. But if you keep dragging it, because if you are wanting to learn about AI in the entire thing, you probably need to read about the tiny owl and the AI as a story. Then you will understand the nuances of it. Yeah. Anything else? Or am I down? Time's up.
Yes, sir. No, I mean, like, if anybody of
Any
you
more
has
questions?
Any more
Yeah, please. I would
we have
love
time for one
taking more
last
questions.
question.
Hi, sir.
Yeah.
So you have mentioned about developing agriculture using technologies, right? So നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിൽ കണ്ടുവരുന്ന നോർമൽ ഓർഡിനറി കർഷകർ ഇസ് ഫ്രം റൂറൽ ഏരിയ, തലമുറകളായിട്ട് കൃഷി ചെയ്തു വരുന്ന നോർമൽ ഓർഡിനറി പീപ്പിൾ. അപ്പോൾ ഡു യു തിങ്ക് they have the accessibility to technologies, like how to use them, how to
എക്സലന്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. ഞാൻ ഉത്തർപ്രദേശിലെ ഒരു വളരെ റിമോട്ട് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ഗ്രാമത്തിൽ കൂടി പോകുമ്പോൾ അവിടുത്തെ ഒരു സ്ത്രീ അവരുടെ ഫോണിൽ എന്തൊക്കെയോ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. എൻ്റെ അമ്മ ഗവൺമെന്റ് ഹൈസ്കൂളിൽ നിന്ന് റിട്ടയർ ചെയ്ത ഹെഡ് മിസ്ട്രസ് ആണ്. അമ്മയ്ക്ക് ഇപ്പോഴും ഫോൺ ഉപയോഗിക്കാൻ അറിയില്ല. ഓക്കെ, ആ ഗ്രാമത്തിലെ അൻപട്ട് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു ലേഡിക്ക് അവരുടെ ഫോണിൽ നിന്ന് കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ട്. ബിക്കോസ് ദേ വാണ്ട് ഇറ്റ്. നമ്മുടെ ഹ്യൂമാനിറ്റി ദൈവം എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നത് വെച്ചാൽ എല്ലാവരെയും കേപ്പബിൾ ആയിട്ട് ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നു. എനിക്കെന്ത് വേണം എന്നുള്ള ആ ഒരു വാഞ്ചയിൽ നിന്ന് മാത്രമേ നിങ്ങൾ തപ്പിപ്പോവുള്ളൂ. ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മുടെ ഒരു സാധാരണ കൃഷിക്കാരന് ഇന്നത്തെ കണ്ടീഷനിൽ ഹണി റോസിന് എന്ത് സംഭവിച്ചു തപ്പി കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഇതേ കൃഷിക്കാരന് എന്തുകൊണ്ട് മറ്റേ എലപ്പുള്ളി രോഗം വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അതിനുള്ള ചികിത്സാ രീതി എന്താണെന്ന് തപ്പി കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല? ഇറ്റ്സ് അബൌട്ട് വാട്ട് യു വാണ്ട്. You got my message, no? And we are all working very hard with the farmer community to propagate the package of practices for treating this, and we want to, that NCOL as a company, as a large organization in the country, we want to put up everything on the web, saying that, പിക്ചർ കാണിച്ചാൽ മതി, നിങ്ങളുടെ ഫോട്ടോ എടുത്തിട്ട് കാണിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ആ സ്ഥാനം താരതമ്യം ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഇത് ഇന്ന അസുഖമാണെന്നും അതിന് ഉപയോഗിക്കേണ്ട പ്രതിവിധി ഇതാണെന്നും വരെ അവരെ കാണിച്ചു കൊടുക്കണം. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ വി ബിൽഡിംഗ് എ ഹ്യൂജ് പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോം വെറിൻ ഫാമേഴ്സ് ക്യാൻ കം ആൻഡ് ട്രേഡ്. ഇന്നത്തെ കുഴപ്പം എന്താണെന്നറിയോ? ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞ അബണ്ടൻസ് ആണ് ഇന്നത്തെ കുഴപ്പം. ഒരുപാട് ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിട്ടുണ്ട് ഇത്, എന്നിട്ട് ഇവിടെ ഇരിക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാർ പറയും എനിക്കത് കിട്ടുന്നില്ല എന്ന് പറയും. കൃഷിക്കാരൻ പറഞ്ഞ് ഞാൻ ഒത്തിരി ഉണ്ടാക്കി വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെന്ന് പറയും. സോ ദർ ഇസ് നോ ട്രാൻസ്പെറൻസി. അതാണ് ട്രേഡർ മുതലാക്കുന്നത്. സോ യു ആക്ച്വലി ബ്രിങ് ഓൺ എ പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോം ആൻഡ് ആസ്ക് ദം ഫോഴ്സിബിളി ടു രജിസ്റ്റർ, ആൻഡ് വെൻ ദേ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് കൾട്ടിവേഷൻ ദേ സേ ദാറ്റ് എൻ്റെ ഇത്ര ഏക്കർ ഭൂമിയിൽ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇത്ര സെന്റ് സ്ഥലത്ത് ഞാൻ ചീര നട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്, ഇന്ന് നട്ടു എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എനിക്ക് ചീര 55ാമത്തെ ദിവസം മുറിക്കാൻ പറ്റുകയാണെങ്കിൽ then the buyer knows that നിങ്ങളുടെ വീട്ടിൽ ഇത്രയും ചീര അവൈലബിൾ ആണെന്നുള്ളത്, and you can offer that produce on the platform. So we're working heavily on the connect, customer connect and the farmer connect. So only the farmer connect and the customer connect and the information connect will get them going. It's in process and it will happen. Don't worry about that. ഉത്തർപ്രദേശിലെ ആ സ്ത്രീക്ക് ഫോണിൽ തോണ്ടി കാര്യങ്ങൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കാമെങ്കിൽ ഇവിടുത്തെ ആൾക്കാർക്ക് സുഖമായിട്ട് കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാൻ പറ്റും.
Alright, with that, I assume.
Any more questions I'm willing to field? Otherwise, the next speaker is on, right?
Yes, sir. Alright, so I assume with that we could wrap it a section. So let us all give a huge round of applause to this wonderful session that has been held by our wonderful speaker, Mr. Sunil sir, and thank you so much, sir, for such an enriching session, and I'm pretty sure it was quite insightful. And may I now humbly request Dr. Monu John to kindly join with us to kindly do the honor of showing our and expressing our heartfelt appreciations for such an enriching session. Thank you so much once again.